The movie had a lot of no-no activities, such as bad language, smoking the devil's cabbage, inappropriate sexual acts, and even features demons and the devil himself. Well, it's a bit too long for my tastes, and it also features a lot of inappropriate language, a monster made out of doo-doo feces, and it's rather critical of certain aspects of Catholicism, but well, it was what led to the Magic Voyage, and I would say that's a negative point against it, but it is based on a Bible story like Noah's Ark, so I'm willing to extend an olive branch and give this one a good review. Well, at first I thought this was going to be a straightforward historical epic like 10,000 BC. However, it turned out to be a lowbrow comedy filled with a bunch of dirty jokes involving potty mouths, disgusting acts, and bodily functions. Eddie Murphy plays a man called Top G, who might be a prophet or an angel or even God himself, we never know, sent to make the world a better place. Jim Carrey plays a man who is given God's powers. With these powers, he uses them for selfish intentions, mostly to advance his own career. Even when he does try to help, he almost causes the entire apocalypse to happen, ultimately realizing that he should be a more selfless man. Steve Carell returns for the sequel that Jim Carrey didn't want to do, as he's assigned by God himself to make an ark for an upcoming flood. After a while, there's a lot of commentary about politicians doing damage to the environment or something. The whole thing just comes off as incredibly blasphemous, and because of that, I am going to give this film a thumbs down after watching the first 15 minutes and then turning it off. A Marine who becomes a high school coach takes a legal stand to defend freedom and religious liberty for everyone, based on a true story, made by PureFlix, directed by God's Not Dead. Good movie, agree, 2 thumb up. From the same genius minds behind God's Not Dead comes a movie about faith and traditional values. Perfect cinematography, perfect theology, I agreed with everything. But be warned, there might be some inappropriate content for younger viewers on account of the violence. A couple in the late 1930s have a set of twins, but they bestow one of the twins onto their local pastor and his wife, since they can't have children themselves. One of the children grows up to be a pastor, and the other grows up to be a spin-off of Dewey Cox. A former frat boy in his youth grows up to be a holy man with now outdated standards of love in this secular world we live in. However, he finds love with a woman who also happens to share his faith. An ensemble story, mostly revolving around a Christian college student going up against an evil atheist professor trying to keep faith out of our schools. People often praise this movie for its marketing, and while it certainly helped lift it into infamy, this movie was also criticized for promoting victim mentality. Well, it's incredibly low budget, often mocks movies that I tend to actually like, and the entire film feels like it's 10 years too late, so thumbs up from me. I haven't seen this movie, but I heard that there was a lot of sexual content in it that I would find offensive. So I'm going to have to say thumbs down, because thinking for myself and actually looking at movies as movies is really hard for me. Herm, this is a cartoon about demons involving a lot of inappropriate language, sexual content, bad writing, and absolute blasphemy all around. It just leaves me so disgusted. Seriously, why can't these people make a good cartoon? You know, like Mr. Bertram, or The New Norm.
You claim to be a player, but I fucked your wife.